Now we can continue on to the media library. This is the hub of all of the visual elements on your site. Click over in the very top left-hand corner to open the media library. This is what it looks like when you open it up. In order to upload files, you can drag and drop from your desktop. A little tab is going to pop up right here that says the progress. It should upload pretty quickly. Or you can click down in the bottom left-hand corner and click on Upload Files. When it comes to uploading files, you want to use JPEG images whenever possible. JPEG is something like this, a standard image with no transparency. This is because Showit does a little bit of automatic compression to JPEG images. You don't have to worry too much about the file size of the JPEG. Now, if you're getting photos directly from a photographer or something and they're really, really, really large, you might want to size them down just a little bit. But in general, JPEGs are the best choice to upload. If you need something with transparency, for example, your logo files, or icons or specific elements like that, you want to try to use SVG files. If you don't have SVG files, then you can use PNG images. You just want to upload them at the approximate size you'll be using them on the site to get the best loading time. An example of that, if I click out into here and look at these logos, this is used at a size. If I go to size and position, I can see that it's a width of 146 and a height of 49 pixels. So I wouldn't want to upload something that's a width of 1,460 pixels by 4,900 pixels, because Showit is going to load that entire huge image just to display it at this smaller size. If we size it down even just a little bit before we upload it, that's just going to make things load faster and give your site an overall better experience. Going back to the media library, you also can upload videos. They have to be MP4 files and they have to be less than 8 megabytes, which is a pretty small video file. They can't have sound, and videos that are uploaded to the media library can only be used in Canvas backgrounds. If you want to upload a longer format video or a video with sound, you'll embed it from YouTube or Vimeo. This is also where you'll upload your WAF files if you're using custom fonts. I highly recommend utilizing folders to organize your content. You can check the box in the top left-hand corner of each of the images and then go down to the bottom and click Move to Folder. Here you'll be able to select a folder to move it to. If you need to add a new folder, you'll scroll down to the bottom here on the very left-hand side and click on Add New Folder and give it a name. Once you have content in your media library, you then can start swapping out things on the template. I'll show you what I mean by going over to the About page and talking about the different ways that we can use media. The most obvious way is these standard images right here. If I want to swap this out, I can double click, it's going to bring up the media library, or I can click over in the very top right hand corner and click on Image, Swap Image. It's going to do the same thing. When I click on the image, if I go over to the top left hand corner and click on Page, you can see it's labeled here in the Hero Canvas. I can go down to size and positioning. I can go down underneath this image and adjust the framing of this image without actually having to move this frame box here. Right now it's set to fill. You also have the option to contain it. That's going to show the entire image. It's going to show all 4 sides, no matter the size of this container that we have. Stretch, I don't really recommend this one just because it's going to distort your image a bit. And then we have scale. Scale allows you to zoom in and zoom out and adjust the cropping of the photo, again, without adjusting the bounding box. Scale and fill are probably the ones that you'll use most. You also can use fill to adjust the positioning. Those are standard images. You want to check on the mobile version and make sure that it's still displaying in the way that you'd like. For example, if we bump up this fill to 70%, it's adjusting it a little bit, and it's adjusting it a little bit on desktop. That's totally fine. If we go to scale and we want it to be 150, it's going to do the same thing on mobile. So just make sure that it's still looking good. The next type of image we have is canvas background. If we scroll down on the About page to this canvas here, this is our call to action. We have a background. We click on canvas background on the smart panel. It should be the second option. This is actually a video. So if we preview it, we can preview the About page and see how that video looks. Picking up the phone there. In order to get a video or an image in the background, you'll click on media type up at the top. It might look like this, which is none. You can set a color. Or if you go to image, you can choose an image from the media library. Or if you go to video, you can choose a video. When you select a video, again, it has to be under 8 megabytes, which is a pretty small clip. You can choose to loop the video so that it keeps playing almost like a GIF over and over again, or you can choose to play once. You'll also want to choose what's called a fallback image. This is just a worst case scenario. If for some reason the video is not loading properly, it will show the image instead of just showing an error or showing nothing. Click over to the mobile and make sure that the video or the image that you set as the background is still looking good. Sometimes it may be necessary to have a different image in the background depending on what your image is for a mobile version, just because our screen orientation is so much different. If that is the case for you, you can click on these 3 dots and click on split desktop and mobile. Maybe the mobile just has a solid color background or a static image. You also have some additional options down here with positioning. You can adjust how the video or the photo is cropped, and you can adjust the kind of scroll effect. This is set to parallax, which gives it a little bit of a layered effect. This means that the background scrolls at a different rate than the text on top, making it look like it's floating a little bit. I'll show you what that looks like again on the About page. So here you can see that the background is scrolling, but the text is scrolling over it a little bit faster. If we change it to fixed, that means that the background does not move at all and the text moves on top of it. Going back to the About page, this is what it looks like here. The background is not moving at all, other than the movement in the video. The next way that media is displayed is through galleries. We have a couple different styles of galleries. There's the tiled gallery, which looks like this. It is going to grow with content. So if you click over to Canvas, we have Canvas type. It says grow with content. This means that it's going to accommodate however many images you put into the gallery. Even though it looks a little funny in the back end, it looks like it's cut off. It's not. You can play with the adjustments for gallery images by going to gallery settings. You can adjust how many columns there are, what the padding is like between the images, what the background color is like. You can play with those options. In order to adjust the media inside the gallery, you'll click on the gallery itself and click on Manage Images. This is going to bring up the media library, and then you can check the images that you want to add and click the arrow to bring them over. You also can select images within the gallery already and delete them or drag to reorder. The next type of gallery we have is called a carousel gallery. This is one where it slides through. If I go up to preview, I can click and drag to slide, or we have these arrows down here that will change. We also can set it to automatically slide through. Similar to the tiled gallery, if you click on the gallery, you can update those images by managing images in the media library, and you can go down to gallery settings and you have almost all of the same options that you had for the tile gallery in terms of spacing between, auto advance, and looping images. The slideshow gallery looks like this one. Very similar, but it only shows one image at a time. The settings for this gallery include how the image goes in and out. So we have it set to fade, but it also could be slide, and you can adjust the timing. Then we have the full screen gallery. This is going to take up the entire screen when someone clicks on it, and they can still navigate forward and backward through it by using these options. Another area where you may be using images is in your footer. If we scroll down to the very bottom, this can connect to your Instagram. We'll click on this here, Edit Social, and this is actually an embed box. It's down here, Social Grid. When you click on it, there will be a button here for you to connect to your Instagram for the first time. Similar to the video, you want to set fallback images for your Instagram if for some reason Showit loses connection to that account or the images aren't loading properly. That way it won't display nothing. You can click down to fallback images here, and it's basically just a gallery. You'll pop in the images that you want to use.